the Fade 5 podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Is indeed the Fade 5 podcast presented by Suavecito Tequila. Grab yourself a bottle of Añejo or Reposado or make a margarita with the silver. It doesn't matter. It's just all excellent, and it's all smooth, and it all tastes delicious. Similar to some of my wagers yesterday in the world of college basketball and also the NFL, and it's been a wild, it's been just a rowdy, a raucous, an unbelievable dog-eat-dog kind of wild card weekend, Lundy, as the Miami Dolphins pushed the Buffalo Bills to the brink. You could say the same about the Baltimore Ravens last night, who damn near tied it in the bitter end to push that game in OT on the road against Cincinnati. All these matchups have been nip and tuck, and of course the Giants pulling the upset, and really wasn't all that shocking against the Minnesota Vikings up there in the land of 10,000 lakes. But tonight, we got the capper. We got Dallas. We got TB12 and company. The Cowboys are laying 2.5 on the road, and the total at 45.5. Whether side or total, maybe you're doing a SGP/OGP with the side and total. What do you like best in this NFL pick to click?
I like the total. I've liked the total from the very beginning. I'm on the over in this one, which, folks, if you've been paying attention, every game has hit the over this weekend. Wow. It is 5-0. I say they go 6-0 as well, but here's the trick with this game, and it's going to play into some of the player props I'm sure that you have lined up. By the way, decided to make this a fun Super Wildcard Monday edition of the podcast. I have no idea what your picks are yet, Brad. I haven't even looked. You did the script, like you sent me a text at like some god-awful hour. It was like 5:15 in the morning. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm not looking. I'm just going to be surprised. This is going to be pure reaction on today's particular episode. But as this plays into it, I need both of these coaching staffs to pull their heads out of whatever hole they have had it buried in when it comes to their offense. First and foremost, Brad, where has TB12 been the most effective all season long? It's basically when he's running a 2-minute/4-minute offense. Let him go out there. Let him basically play playground football with these dudes and have some fun. Just that's what you got to do. Just hurry up. Then on the other side, okay, everybody talking about Kellen Moore, right? Oh, man, next great offensive mind. Not if you can't. Does this guy know how to call a play that isn't conservative? Come on, dude. No. Like, I got here at Mile High Sports in Denver, my right-hand guy, Anilo Piro, love him to death. Anilo is your like definition of a Cowboys fan, Brad. He has been insufferable all season long. All he does is bitch about this team all day long. Oh, they're going to screw it up again. Oh, I can't do. I'd rather have Derek Carr than Dak Prescott. Like, this is just your typical Cowboys fan, right? But he and I are in agreement that the only way that Dallas doesn't get upset by Tampa in this one is if they just, like, man, take the handcuffs off and have some fun on offense, for crying out loud. And if that happens, which I believe it will, that is why I'm on the over.
Yeah, if you want to build a little bit of a cushion, I did an OGP on this game. I took Tampa up to +7.5, and I took the total down to just 40.5, and of course crushed the over. And if both those legs hit, it's +110 at BetMGM. You look at Tampa Bay; they have not been covering machines. Actually, the antithesis of that. Their last 10 games, 2-7-1 against the spread, but they've hit the over in 4 of their last 5 contests on the standard total. And again, I took this down to 40.5. Dallas, meanwhile, their last 10, 5-5, split right down the middle, ATS, but have hit the over in 7 of their last 10. I'm with you. If I had a lean without the OGP action and playing some of these alternate thresholds, I would go with the over on the 45.5. But again, I love Tampa +7.5 and the over 40.5.5. And you get plus money. Yeah, work those shoulders and get seduced by the juice +110.
Release the Dak.
Yes, or the Kraken. Either one, I'm totally down with. On this MLK edition, with that put to bed, let's get after it with another Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right. Before we hop on a jet and go to Thailand, which is all the rage right now for ex-NFL head coaches, let's get some wagers in on this Monday night affair in the player props market. And one of my favorites, straight out of the gate at plus odds at BetMGM, Zeke Elliott to score an anytime touchdown. And unbelievably, I thought this would be a minus odds. It's plus 115. Let that lion roar there at BetMGM as a result. He has scored a TD in 8 of his last 9 games, one of the pace setters and red zone touches this entire season. Now, I know he surrenders and concedes some of that work to Tony Pollard inside the 5, but if the Cowboys are knocking the door to score 6, chances are very strong, ball to the belly, and we're going to get freaky with Zeke as a result. Week 1, 11 touches. 49 total yards, no touchdowns against the Buccaneers. But as I mentioned, the 40 red zone touches he had this season was number 13 among all running backs in the league. Tampa Bay, not invincible in the trenches. They've improved, but they have given up 4.75 yards per carry, the running back position in their last 5 games. And in the regular season, 11 total TDs to the RB position. So whether it's a plunge across the goal line for Zeke Elliott, or maybe it's a dump ball pass for a 6, it doesn't matter. Anytime touchdown, plus 115. Lundy, fade or follow, are you going to get freaky with Zeke like me at BetMGM?
That sounds like it could be a children's television show.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It could be one of those throwbacks to
late night Cinemax.
Late night Cinemax when we were kids. They just don't do that anymore.
Starring Shannon Tweed.
I feel so bad for teenage males in this country in 2023 that don't get to experience what we used to affectionately refer to as Skinamax.
They have the hub. They have it in the palm of their hands. I'm talking about the phone.
I like this anytime touchdown that you've got with Zeke. And I told you, I don't know what the Fade 5 is today. I am in straight reaction, gut reaction, TYG mode for today's program. So really like this one. I'm going to be curious, Brad, if you throw another anytime touchdown out, because if you don't, this guy right here had Zeke and one other anytime touchdown put together on an OGP. So I'm going to see if you bring up my other pick. And if not, I got some fun in bonus time.
Oh, bonus time. Stay tuned. Don't turn that dial.
Number 4.
All right, let's stay in the Dallas Cowboys backfield, and I'm going to focus in on another player prop with another player, and that's Tony Pollard. And I loved him to pieces as a player, the explosivity, the bottle rockets tied to the shoes, his effectiveness on the ground, his effectiveness in the pass game as well. But this number is too high. I am going to live in the land down under on Tony Pollard, 50.5 rush yards, minus 115 at DraftKings. And this number has come up. It opened 47.5, and I will take the surplus here on the 50.5 and that under. You look at Tampa Bay in their last 5 games. A defense, I mentioned right around 4 yards per carry they have allowed during that stretch, and 91.4 rush yards per game they have given up to the running back position. That's respectable. They're not locked down. They're not ironclad by any stretch of the imagination, but they're getting back to their roots of the last couple of years, which is botting up in the trenches. And you look at Tony Pollard, he's top 3 on the entire season in yards after contact per attempt. We know he's got the shimmy, the shake, and the explosiveness in the open field, but he's a guy that's been well under this in his last couple of games. And I think Zeke is going to get the majority of the groundwork in this game, meaning Pollard probably good for 9 to 11 carries. He only had 6 carries for 8 yards against the Buccaneers in week number 1. I know that was an eternity to go, and he'll do much better this time around, but I think the Buccaneers going to wrap him up and keep him under this 50.5 rush yards total, minus 115 to DraftKings. Lundy, fade or follow?
Man, I told you it's all gut reaction. I think he's going to get close, but I like where you're going with this one. I think this is, you got your wild card game. You're back to the playoff. I think this is where Dallas starts to lean a little bit further back into Zeke. But I said that Moore has got to open up the playbook. He's got to get creative. So I'd like to see Pollard doing some stuff out of the backfield, catching the ball to try to keep the Bucs defense a little bit on its heels. I think that's how you're going to have some success against them, is force them to spread out, take that second layer of the defense and force it to try to pay attention to guys like Dalton Schultz, try to pay attention to a guy like Tony Pollard coming out of the backfield. So if they can do that, if they can be smart in terms of how they try to move away from the interior of that Bucs defense, I agree with you. I think Pollard's going to be involved, but I think it's not going to be ball to the belly.
Listen to your parent, damn it. Polly want a cracker? No, we want an under on rush yards, please.
Number 3.
All right, let's go to kickers. I guess they're people. At least they are for tonight and tonight only. And I'm going to go the Tampa Bay side of things. And I am going to take a guy who has an unfortunate last name. And I am going to take the over on Ryan Succop. 1.5 field goals made, minus 110. At BetMGM. Week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, the Tampa Bay kicker had 5 field goal attempts and drilled 1, 2, 3, 4, mi amigo. He had a 4 field goal game. He has been over 1.5 field goals made in a contest 8 times this year, hitting 81.6% of his attempts. Now, what is really fascinating more than anything else, and you could size this up to pure luck, or maybe some other advanced analytic that really doesn't hold much weight. But Dallas has allowed the 5th most field goals made of any team this season. In 7 straight games, a kicker has nailed at least 2. That's right, 2 field goals against them. So maybe they've been somewhat flexible between the 20s, and then they've tightened up defensively inside the red zone, which has limited some of those touchdown scores, and instead field goal opportunities. Could be more of the same. Lundy, you like the over? I'm leaning with the over as well. Hopefully the streak's going to continue here on Wildcard Weekend. So this plays into this in case the Tampa Bay Buccaneers cannot splash 6. So fade or follow. Ryan Succop over 1.5 field goals made, minus 110 at BetMGM.
Well, this one gives you some good juice because his overall point total is at 6.5. And if you take the over on that, it's actually juiced at BetMGM at minus 135. So if you think he can get to the 6.5, you think that that's going to happen within the field goals, take this one instead of the overall kicker points, just because of the difference in the juice going from minus 130 to the minus 110 that you've got. But I had been focused in on Succop as well. You talked about what Dallas has done in terms of the opportunities for folks to be able to make the field goals. So yeah, I like Succop. I had him on my list and looking between the made field goals as well as the overall kicking points. You're right. Unfortunate last name. Not nearly as fun as the Chargers with Dicker the kicker, but Succop right there.
No doubt about it. Try not to suck, Ryan.
Number 2.
All right, numero 2 saw the feed 5 today. A player I've already mentioned, I think previously on the pod, and we're going to go back to that. Well, those waters are damn near tasty, and Lundy is dancing because I feel this would probably be his top play of the day if he had said option. But I'm taking the over on Dalton Schultz, 37.5 receiving yards. Right now, best line that I've seen in the industry at FanDuel at minus 114. You got to go way back. And I know you've consumed a lot of Suavecito since, but way back in week number 1, he had 7 catches for 62 yards against Tampa Bay. And Tampa is a defense that has surrendered a lot of chunk gains to the tight end position this season. So they've been a bit loosey-goosey in coverage, giving a 45.7 receiving yards per game to tight ends overall. And you know that CeeDee Lamb is going to draw so much attention in that secondary. So the short to intermediate action, a lot of that is going to funnel to Dalton Schultz, who is number 6 among all tight ends in total air yards. So I think it's going to be might be a 50-plus kind of game for the Dallas Cowboys unheralded shining star as a receiver, and that's Dalton Schultz. So Luddy, I already know where you're leaning. Fade or follow my over 37.5 receiving yards, minus 114 at FanDuel. Just come dance with me.
Choo-choo! Get on the train, folks. Come on. I'm all about Dalton Schultz with this one. I actually got this one at 38.5, and I still like it.
Yep.
I think he's at a minimum of 45, to be honest with you. But you got a sure. I'll take a yard buffer. But like I said, I think he's getting up to the mid 40s, over in 3 out of the last 5 games. Tampa giving up 47.7 to tight ends. This all just points towards Schultz. What did I say? You got to do something to Tampa to suck that second layer of the defense and not allow them to just sit there and clog the middle, because that's ultimately what's going to free up Zeke. That's why I like Pollard out to the outside. That's why I like Schultz trying to be able to do some things in the short to intermediate field. All of that is what, like, Kellen Moore, are you listening? If you really want a head coaching job, you have got to show us something in this game tonight.
Holy shit! Please bet on Schultz.
Number 1.
All right, numero uno on the Fade 5 today. Let's get creative with TB12. And to be honest, I'm kind of leaning on the over on his pass yards prop and also the over on his pass attempts prop. But let's build in some safety. Cue that safety dance. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. If your friends dance, no friends of mine. I kind of forgot some of the lyrics there, but doesn't matter. Don't forget this wager on an SGP at DraftKings. And I realize it's not a plus money. It's a low minus money, but I'm trying to build the bankroll here. Tom Brady, 255 plus pass yards, 30 plus pass attempts. So you correlate, synergize, bring those all together. When you do that, it's minus 110. So a standard juice there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Give you a little bit of background here. Week 1 versus Dallas, he only had 212 passing yards and 1 passing TD on 27 attempts. That was unusual. That was uncharacteristic for a guy, well into his 40s, who all he does is sit back in the pocket and uncork early and often. I think this is the type of game to do exactly that. He averaged 42.1 pass attempts per game in the regular season, and he hit both feats over on 11 games this year as well. You look at the Dallas Cowboys, they're giving up just 6.85 pass yards per attempt and 220.8 pass yards per game. Opposing signal callers, just 3, only 3 have gone for 255 or more pass yards and 30 plus pass attempts against the reps from North Texas this season. But I think ultimately Tom Brady, he's going to come out firing in this game. He will not be deterred. So as a result, Brady, 255 plus pass yards, 30 plus pass attempts, minus 110 on this SGP at DK. Lundy, fade or follow.
I liked it because you just said that he won't be deterred. Like, just with the way Tampa's been playing this year, Brad, Tom Brady has kind of been the turd.
Well, he kind of has been, but he's overdue for a monster game. Why not do it at home with all the stakes on the line?
So you're saying he's constipated and he's overdue?
Yeah, sure.
If we stick with the third theme, look, folks, it's a Monday, it's a holiday. Brad's on energy drinks. I'm on like my 9th cup of coffee already today. We're bouncing off the walls. So just, yes, I'm making poop jokes. Just deal with it. I'm sorry. I like this one. You know me, Brad. I probably would try to go find one leg that I could add, even if it was at like a minus 800, I'd probably go try to find one more leg just to get myself to even money, just because I'm a greedy son of a bitch.
Just take Brady on a 1 plus passing touchdown prop.
That's actually what I was going to say. Like, take him for 1 just to get this up to positive territory. But otherwise, I do like this one. I mean, I think he's going to sit back in the pocket. I think he's just going to try to, I don't even know if he's going to necessarily uncork, but I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot. So yeah, I think your 30 pass attempts is on. I like the 255. I think that's a solid threshold. Like I said, I'm a greedy SOB. I would probably add one more leg, something simple, and be able to get it to positive territory, even if all it was plus 100. Like, I'd be fine with that, even just to try to get some other leg in there. But yes, I like this one. Nice job on the. I told you I didn't look at it. Nice job on the Fade 5 today. But is it time? Is it time for the BT?
It is bonus time, bonus time. Work those jazz hands as a result. We got day basketball. It's MLK Day tradition in the NBA. College, I think, is starting up here like 30 minutes from our tape time. So let's go ahead and get after. What else you got on the betting card today?
Okay, real quick, I want to throw this out. Those of you that have FanDuel available to you, this is at least available in Colorado. I know sometimes things are a little bit different, but Brad, they've got a nice little boost for an early NBA game today between the Celtics and the Hornets. Jason Tatum and LaMelo Ball, each to have 3 or more made threes. FanDuel has boosted it from a minus 140 up to even money, up to plus 100. Tatum's done it 4 out of his last 5, and Melo's done it in 8 out of his last 9. So go take some money from the folks at FanDuel since they want to offer you that bonus. But again, that game tips off really early. So if you're consuming the podcast early, you can jump on that one. If not, you're going to be kind of hosed. Let me go back to the Monday night game. I told you I had a 2-leg anytime touchdown. I was just waiting to see. Just waiting to see, Brad, if you did it. Give me Zeke Elliott for an anytime touchdown. I'm going to pair that one up with your cousin, Mike Evans, for an anytime touchdown as well. Brad, do you know what the payday is on that SGP over at DraftKings?
I'm going to take a guess. Plus 325.
Plus 5.
Oh, my God. Take over the pod. I got to go.
It is, that is the odds you can get at both DraftKings and BetMGM right now is plus 500 for that 2-legger. You already laid out why you like Zeke. Let me throw out there for Mike Evans. First of all, he did have a touchdown against the Cowboys all the way back in week 1, but he only has 6 touchdowns on the season, but 3 of them have come in the last 3 weeks. So I see he stays hot. Dallas has given up 22 touchdowns to wide receivers this year. Their secondary blows when it comes to trying to defend against your standard receivers out there in the end zone. I will take Mike Evans. By himself, he's a plus 150. But if you put the two together, it's sexy over at DK, folks. I want you to grab that one. I want to throw another one-game parlay at you for tonight. Tom Brady for a pick, Dak Prescott for a pick. One each. That one will pay you at a plus 180. And Brad, you know I always like to have some fun with TB12. I'm going to do it, Brad. I'm going to get seduced by the juice at plus 175 for him to have over a half a yard rushing.
You know what? I played that prop religiously last year, and then I tried to carry that momentum, and funds won, and I immediately lost them this year, and I've not gone back to it. Why the hell not? Let's ride. Why not?
I think that one is just too much fun. All right. In addition to some day NBA action in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the NHL is also playing today during the day as well. Let me start in my own backyard as Colorado Avalanche will be hosting the Detroit Red Wings, the hated rivalry from back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm laying the puck line with Colorado at minus 1.5. I think they might finally be waking up. There's also a possibility that Valeri Nichushkin will be back for the Avs. They have been missing him immensely. And so I'm going to lay the puck line. Colorado's beaten Detroit 9 out of the last 10 times that they've played. In Detroit, in their last 7 road games, only 1-6. So I think the Avs take care of business this afternoon. I also like Nathan McKinnon for an anytime goal. He's got 7 points in his last 4 games, but in 15 career games against the Red Wings, he's got 10 goals. So an anytime goal for Mac this afternoon sits at a plus 125. And then if you want a one-game parlay that together, take Colorado on the money line, take Mac for a goal. That sits at a plus 170. Let me go back to the NBA momentarily. I told you about that freebie. I think it's pretty much a freebie at FanDuel. Yeah. I would go bet that one if I were you. A couple others that I like, the Raptors and the Knicks. I'm taking the over on the 218.5. They've been over in 5 out of the last 7 times that they have played each other. And the Utah Jazz are on the road up in Minnesota. They are taking on the T-Wolves. I will lay the points with the T-Wolves minus the 2.5. Utah in the last 9 games against Minnesota has only covered twice. That's it. they suck against the spread when it comes to the T-Wolves. So I'm going to lay the 2.5 points with Minnesota. And finally, I'm sure you're going to talk about some of the Big Ten action that's going on today, Brad. I don't want to steal your thunder because I actually made this pick before I even saw it on your spreadsheet, but I'm all about Sparty plus the 4.5.
Yeah, good call there. And I'll have some additional double bonus action in that game here momentarily.
Double? You got to pay extra for that, Cotton.
Well, yeah, you do. You got to slap the wallet.
Brad, I could keep going because I love a bunch of the hockey action today. But, folks, as Brad always talks about, my spreadsheet is posted up on Twitter at Nate Lundy. Go check it out there. I yield the floor to the man from Illinois.
Yeah, let me give you one NBA play today on this MLK day. I love Bam Adebayo, over 10.5 rebounds against the Atlanta Hawks, and it's a big number. I understand it may scare some people away, but Atlanta has surrendered the most rebounds per game of any team in the NBA over the last 15 contests. So it is the mother of all matchups for Adebayo, who usually cleans up around the 10. I think he's going to crash glass and get at least 11 boards today. So that's my only NBA play this afternoon. Let's go back to the Monday night affair. Leonard Fournette, I'm going to take the over on 35.5 rush yards. That is absurdly low for him. All he's got to do is get a dozen carries and average 3 yards per carry. And guess what? I'm no mathematician, but that's 36. That is a half a yard more than what I need. That means we win. So I think he's going to get there in the end. Remember, he had 127 yards against the boys in week 1 on an exhausted 21 carries. I realize he and Rachaad White are really splitting right down the middle, the overall opportunity share, but just 12 carries. That's all I need from Fournette, and he's going to cash a ticket, though Dallas has given up 3.57 yards per carry, the running back position, in their last 5 games. And one more play in this Monday night wildcard matchup on an OGP, Chris Godwin, 6+ receptions, and Fournette, 4+ receptions, -105 on both of those events to occur at BetMGM. Dallas has given up 12.0 receptions per game at the wide receiver position, over 156 receiving yards per game. Godwin, uncharacteristically, only had 3 catches in week 1 against his defense, but he has hauled in at least 6 a handful of times here in the last several weeks, and I think that's going to be more of the same, working out the slot against Bland, who's given up a 75.9 catch percentage to his assignments. Meanwhile, you know that Tom Brady loves to check it down, and he's going to look often to White and also to Fournette. Dallas has given a 3.6. That's it. Receptions per game of the running back position. But Fournette has hauled in at least 4 passes in 5 of his last 6 and finished the regular season number 10 in target percentage among all eligible running backs. So again, Godwin 6+ catches, Fournette 4+ catches, -105 at BetMGM. All right, college basketball. Let me give you my top 3 plays today. I like the under. I really do like with Michigan State Spartans, and I grabbed it last night plus a 4.5. That line is now down at MGM to 3.5. And I still like the Spartans to cover in this game, but I really like the under as well at 133.5. You look at Purdue, number 5, an effective field goal percentage defense in Big Ten action. So a little bit forgiving in that area, but on the entire season, they've been one of the better defensive units in college basketball. They're number 1 in college basketball just at offensive efficiency. But you look at Michigan State. I just saw them in person at the State Farm Center here in Champaign, Illinois. Way to go, Illini, and taking them down. They're a very good defensive team. In fact, they are number 1 in 4 different defensive categories in Big Ten action, but scoring the basketball is a chore. They were 0 for 7 against Illinois from beyond the arc. This is kind of an old school-minded Michigan State team. They attack you off the dribble, get to the glass, hit a ton of layups against the ILL, and they also hit a ton of mid-range jumpers. And that's where that old school element comes into play. So knowing their inefficiencies 3-point-wise and knowing, too, both these teams are 3+ at adjusted tempo, I like the under 133.5 there. Elsewhere, I love the under in Hawaii and Cal State Northridge. This number and probably at 125. I think this is going to finish below 120, to be honest. Again, 2 very slow teams. I look at Cal State Northridge, number 323 in adjusted tempo nationally. Hawaii, number 293. Cal State also number 358 out of 363 teams at effective field goal percentage offense. So they can't score. They're only shooting 29.6% from distance and 43.4% inside the arc. Hawaii locks down defensively, number 9 in the country in effective field goal percentage. D, though offensively, it's been a chore. Number 208 in effective field goal percentage offense. For all those reasons, like the under 125 and Hawaii and Cal State Northridge. And then last one for you, take UAB on the road. I know the line has really climbed. I grabbed it last night when it opened at UAB -1. It's now -2.5 at most books against Middle Tennessee State. But I think the Blazers are still going to cover. One of the best mid-major teams in college basketball. They're number 27 in adjusted offense efficiency. They crash the offensive glass, 8th best in the country in offensive rebounding percentage, and they kill you from outside. They're shooting 36.4% from way downtown. And you look at MTSU, number 285 in effective field goal percentage defense, and number 318 in three-point percentage defense. So the second chances, kick it out for 3 for UAB. Splishy, splashy, take a bathy. They get the cover at -2.5 on the road against the Blue Raiders. And we're out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Please drop us a rating and review if you don't mind. Also, fade or follow us on the Twitter, Lundy at Nate Lundy, and all the spreadsheet picks there. All of my spreadsheet picks, you can follow me at Noisy Cuevas. Enjoy your MLK Day. Enjoy the day hoops and the punctuation to Wildcard Weekend. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.